Starburns Audio.
Thank you for listening to the Starburns Audio Podcast Network. We have so many great comedy shows to add to your playlist. Just last week on Starburns Audio, on the Season 2 premiere of Humans Who Make Games, Adam Conover talks to comedian Ron Funches and Jean Goudon, creative director of the Assassin's Creed series. On Boogie Monster, Kyle Kinane and Dave Stone share a perfect recipe for the quarantined cook. This week on Profiles and Eccentricity, they cover the history of the Coruscant Unity cult, folks for whom a flat earth is ridiculous because they believe it's really a concave shell. Search Starburns Audio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any podcast platform for our full list of shows, featuring hosts like Joe Coy, Amanda Seales, Jessica Chobot, and Jackie Johnson. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Starburns Audio. Enjoy the show. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep laughing.
It's a good show.
Dan and Ren and Jay will share tales of folks so unaware they lack in grace and sometimes choose the life they choose will make the news. Breaking down each epic fail in Florida, there's half-price bail. I'm happy to say they couldn't make this up. So listen to our podcast jam with co-host Arm and Dan. Benders, don't be a jerk, cause when the music hits the funny hits and we are gonna take you down. Stick around. Make a sound, hunker down, it's Dumb People Town.
Hey Townies, welcome to another episode of Dumb People Town. Population you.
Population Tig. I jumped on that. Is that all right?
Population. We set it out, put it out to our people. Who would you like to see back as one of the guests that we've had before?
So
and
we pulled you back into
far
That was
and
the
away.
only name that came up?
You're really the
No,
only
you
one.
were
Yeah.
you were at the top of many lists.
For real. So frequent. How many
America's
times
Most Wanted.
I don't believe this, but I'm happy to be back.
It is the
It's
truth.
truth.
We
I
can't
know.
make this up. We put it out there in the
You
universe.
can't make that
Nope.
up.
Guys, we can't
I
make
want to
this
try
stuff
and make
up.
it up.
It's beyond our grasp.
Let me tell you something. We have created a position in the guessing game of our show that we simply call Tig. We said, Dan says, do you
Yes.
want to go first,
Tig,
Tig, or third?
Because you were the first person to ever. I was always asking guests,
To
you want to go
split
first or
the two
third?
of
And you were
us.
like, I want to go second.
I'm going between
You had a
them.
pair of
You are-
one-eyed jacks, and you said split them. I'll go between them.
You are canon in this show.
All right.
Welcome back.
Happy to be here.
So happy to have you. By the way, can I tell you I laughed so freaking hard at your first bit. Nothing else. I mean, I didn't laugh at anything else the rest of the special.
Okay.
But the first bit, I was driving. People have said this before, like that when they're don't listen to comedy. I was like driving and kind of watching it
Smart.
as I was driving, which was wrong.
That's
but
not
it was
true.
piped.
Driving?
You can't make that up.
But it was, I can't make that up, piped in through the car, and the first bit of the person introducing you for your first special.
Yes.
I was
warm-up guy.
The warm-up guy. I was laughing so hard that like every time my body was spasming, I was like herky-jerking into other people's lanes.
It's beautiful.
You lived through it, though.
Yeah, you
I'm
made it
here.
Okay.
I made
You're
it.
here to talk about it.
That was what your special was rated.
Glad to be here.
Best special
Happy to
to
be
drive
here.
to.
Well, I'm glad to be here. You're happy to be
I'm happy
I
to
can't
be.
take your title. You want me to take the title of your special?
I'm fine with that.
Okay, I'm happy to be here.
On Netflix.
We'll talk more about that later. But as you know, Tig, we believe that the world is getting dumber at an unbelievable rate.
Okay.
It's kind of like it's surpassed global warming in terms of how fast it's
Are we past the point of no return back to civility and
I don't know.
intelligence?
I don't know. I mean, the whole Roseanne thing that happened.
Oh my God, this morning. What do you think she was thinking? And we'll get into the story because that was just so stupid. You're like, you do know there are black people who work on your show.
I mean, and just...
How did you not think?
And how is that funny to her?
Yeah, it's not funny. It's mean.
But here's my question. The thing that was crazy to me was that people were saying what you tweeted was racist, and she responded with, Muslims can be any race. In other words, I'm going to ignore that I compared a woman to someone from Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
That part
I'm not going to mention.
We're not going to mention that part, but I wasn't being racist when I said Muslim.
Yeah.
It's almost like saying when I used the word "the," that wasn't racist. So why is everyone coming down on me?
None of my articles were
fat
racist.
jerk, and they were like, "Don't weight shame them." You're like, anybody can be a jerk. Any size can be a jerk.
I said A. I used A.
I mean, truly. But I mean, just sitting there, imagine just sitting in your life and this thought comes into your head and you are tickled by it.
Right. And that enough to say, I need to share this now.
Yeah.
I need to put it out there to the universe.
Yes. And
do you think if there was a Twitter around back in the day of the original show, if she would have gotten it canceled just, because that's who she is, or she's become that over time?
It seems like she's probably gone through some changes. Yeah. Like
chemical imbalances.
I remember Stephanie and I watched the documentary of her running for president.
Oh, yeah.
And that seems like the perfect combo of a great documentary. But turning it on, it was just like, this is not good.
It was like the national anthem when she came out to sing it, and you were like, "Oh, she's going to sing the national anthem."
Now that was good.
This could be grabbed her crotch and just grabbed her crotch and screamed. That was. By the way, not enough women grabbing their crotches in
not nearly
in
enough
shows of
not nearly enough.
I mean, if you want to show disrespect, I mean I'm doing it myself.
But I do feel like that's indicative of where we are. To see somebody, she's
taking off.
Yeah,
right.
she is it's the number one show.
I said I said with that tweet she was effectively playing to her base.
Yeah.
Or the base.
Yeah.
Are the people that watch the show.
All right. Well, the world is getting dumber because I'm sure there are a lot of people who are like, yeah, she can tweet whatever she wants. Mm-hmm. So what do we do? What is our way to fight back?
She can tweet whatever she wants.
She totally can, and I actually appreciate the fact that she can. But you work for a company, and there are repercussions to the things you do, and that's what it is. The other repercussion is
we will come down on you with comedy.
Yeah,
we'll rain our comedy.
We have
down.
Comedy hammers.
We'll tickle you to death.
Each of us have comedy feathers, and we will tickle you to death with them today. Dan, do you have a story?
I do.
Hi, Dan.
Hi. How are you,
Has there
friends?
ever been an episode where you didn't have any stories?
Yeah. I'll say, Dan, do you have any stories? And you're like, no.
Oh.
And then what is the episode become?
Then we say this is awkward,
Right.
and then
We
we'll
don't
just
release
sit there
them.
for a few minutes, and then we don't release
And then
it.
you go check iTunes to see yourself shooting to number one.
Yeah, exactly.
They did it.
All right, you ready for this?
Yes.
We're going to meet a gentleman in this story.
What if she had said Planet of the Grapes? You would have laughed. Planet of the Grapes? No.
No.
I think you're still off.
I still think I'm trying to feel like, is there anything that she...
Why are you a Roseanne apologist?
I'm not.
Please don't.
You're a
at all.
caveatist.
Oh, my God.
All right, ready?
Not at all. I'm not even a Rosanna Arquette apologist. I'll go that far.
Wow.
Ontario man finds live World War I era artillery shell in neighbor's trash.
Okay, Dan, this is what you describe as every
4th of July
gone wrong, or
Right.
every where it's not a farmer's market or what is
Flea
it?
market?
Flea market. That like don't go to the artillery table because something there is probably going to blow up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I talk about it in my comedy. True story. My brother Matt, my cousin Kenny, 9 years old, Princeton Flea Market, Princeton, Wisconsin. They bought a grenade. 9. My mom marched them back there. It
So-
was
Marched.
very angry.
Very military.
Stopped. She's on brand. She's not going to deny their new military life.
Take that grenade back. Take that grenade.
True story. The guy was like, they talked me down. All right.
But it was...
That's what she said. Is this a real grenade? He said it's never gone off.
That's not the answer.
And I say in my comedy, that isn't how you tell.
I love it because if it had gone off, wouldn't it have been in
Millions of pieces.
Right. I was standing there.
Every grenade before it's gone up
hasn't gone off
Right.
yet.
She said, is this real? And he said, it's never gone off. And then he said, this is just my bit. And then he says, I'm pretty sure it's a dud. And I said, pretty sure it's a dud is the sad words you hear at the end of every bad 4th of July party. I'm
Any
pretty sure it's a
accident
dud.
that's ever happened.
Look down the tube. See if that fixes it.
Looking down the barrel of anything is
No,
not,
you're never going to
that's
fix it
not
by
what-
looking.
March
We're
over
going
there.
back.
Wait, so he finds it in his neighbor's trash.
Yes.
What is
I don't
he
even
doing?
remember what you originally said.
Found
What was
a
in the
live
trash?
artillery
Oh.
shell in his
From
neighbor's
World
trash.
War One.
Okay.
World War One.
Is anyone asking the question right now?
Someone hasn't taken the trash out in a while.
Or
Is that a bulk? I'm just asking. Is
We're
that
going to start with the oldest stuff first, but I'm cleaning this house today.
is that a bulk?
Twinkies.
Yeah. Is that a bulky item pickup? I mean, do you have to schedule?
no,
that?
but like, what are you doing inside your neighbor's trash? I mean, sometimes I'll throw away, like, if there's food that I'm sneaking eating that I don't want people to know
Ooh,
by
let's
people in
talk
my
about
family.
this.
About your sneak
As I'm
eats?
driving home, I'll
Yeah.
toss it into
What do
a
you
trash
sneak
can.
eat?
It's like candy, like a candy bar.
Candy.
Do you guys,
Candy bar.
okay, do you
That's so cute.
Isn't it?
do you guys have food hidden around your house?
You're someone's father.
No,
You're
I-
sneaking candy.
I mean, I don't want everyone to know.
Do you guys have food hidden around your house?
No, I don't have food hidden in my house.
What
Randy?
about hand grenades?
I don't have
I
food.
have 3
Are they
artillery
real?
shells
Are
in
they
my
real?
garage.
I don't have food. hidden
I haven't
around
gone
my
off
house.
yet.
It's all out in the open. What I'm.
So
My mistakes are out in the open.
I hide my mistake every once in a while when I'm eating to just eat, and so there's a few open trash cans that I know about on the way home. Though,
What kind of candy bars do you like?
Fifth Avenue?
Nope. Or a bag of peanut M&Ms, the shareable
Let's
kind.
go back to candy bars. What kind
Hershey's chocolate
Almond?
with
Just like a regular Hershey's chocolate?
yeah with almonds in it.
There you go. That's a solid move.
It's a fantastic.
Send those in.
Send those
Send
in.
those in.
Send those into the podcast
could use
candy
that.
so that I can shame eat in my car.
Candy People Town.
Candy People Town is a town directly next to Dumb
But
People
Jay
Town.
is right. Who is going into their neighbors? Like,
But I don't look into what the point of my admitting my shame eating was. I'll toss it into someone's trash can. I won't go inside of it and be like,
Well, some
what
people
else
are
is going
picking.
on in here?
Some people are garbage picking.
Some people are picking.
But your neighbor, like, yeah, there's guys who come around and look for bottles, and they're not in our
Some
neighborhood.
people just do straight
I
up.
was just listening to Fresh Air on the radio.
we
here.
get it.
Humble
We
brag.
get
You're
it. You're
smart.
smart. We get it.
Very smart. And that's all I wanted to interject.
Yep,
there.
that's it. Okay. So,
No, David Sedaris was on, and I guess his pastime, 4 to 8 hours a day, he picks up trash.
No.
just on the street.
Yep.
So there's a woman on my street who picks
I bet
up
that
trash.
does feel good.
And on some level, I'm like, I love that you're doing this for the neighborhood. Then she picks up trash around my house, and it's almost like
Why is there trash all around your
not
house?
a lot, but just or she'll pick up like all the wrappers that
Candy bars.
Jay couldn't throw into their neighbor's thing.
Well, I get as close as I
hand
can.
grenades and candy bars.
Hand grenades and candy bars.
There's
That's
the
the name
title.
of the
Next
next
episode.
album. That's the
Or
next
that's
album.
the name of this episode.
No, but they're like, or there'll be like leaves and stuff around. She likes to sweeps up around our house. And on some level, it's really nice. And then on another level, it's someone telling you your house isn't clean enough.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's a little
There's
bit of
some
an
commentating
accusatory.
But is David
finger.
Sedaris, was he doing it so that he could...
I think it's his OCD.
It's like an
Was
obsession.
yeah.
Okay, okay.
And he said he has one of those things he puts on his head with the light.
Oh, a headlamp?
Yeah, headlamp, right. And
So we could
then
do it at
a little
night?
trash poker, yeah.
Is he? But it's not like
getting his
I'm going to
steps
make
in.
the earth a better, cleaner place. It's like I got to go
I mean,
do these things.
he clearly knows he's doing that.
So he's doing that too, but it's not like found art.
Did David Sedaris find this mortar shell?
No.
So
You're going to love the guy who did, though.
I can't wait to hear the guy.
We
who
haven't
did
even
it.
said the first sentence.
All right,
Okay, let's get
Okay.
into it.
It was a normal garbage day in London, Ontario this week.
They all are.
You go to Hamilton, it's different.
Everyone hauled their trash out to the curb and left it for pickup. But in one case, it wasn't a garbage truck that came to collect. It was the local police, the army, and the bomb squad. That's a lot of
The
people.
army?
It's Canada. They sent the army over to London, Ontario.
And all of them are mounted on moose. Is that correct?
Danny?
Is that a correct assessment of the Canadian Army? Like they
Yes.
just show up on mooseback.
Moose pack.
Danny Velo, which is a name you only say first and last whenever you address him. Danny Velo.
Danny Velo
Or
is
do you remember Paul Reiser's old bit Like,
this was such a great bit.
his bit about how like someone will say someone's full name, Danny Vello, and you don't know who you're like, who is it? And they're like,
Danny. And he's like, oh yeah,
I know
Danny.
this.
Half the information, twice the recall. You know Danny Vello?
Nah, I don't know who Danny is.
Danny.
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
Danny Vello lives in the neighborhood and stumbled on the dangerous trash. He spoke with, as it happens, host Carol Off. Here's part of their
she's always been
conversation.
a little bit off.
No,
always
she's always right on.
Danny, I'm just going to read the interview, which will give us the story.
Let's hear
Danny, what did you see in your neighbor's garbage?
Why did the interviewer put his question or her questions in the
That's what
I
it
don't
is.
know.
It's- okay.
Well, I wasn't garbage picking. I was just taking the path through the backyard when I stepped over my fence. I almost stepped on an artillery shell. Already.
Okay.
So what do you do? Whose house are you looking into?
Why are you jumping
before
a fence?
you're jumping your own fence to your own
Anytime you have to
backyard?
jump a fence, you are not doing something that's correct.
Right.
It's your house.
Nobody's ever like, let's leisurely go through this way over that fence.
Unless
taking
you're
it-
running from someone that's
Yeah,
not
that's
doing
so you've done something
right.
wrong.
True.
Okay. Yes. If you're running
Oh,
from
you're
someone
right.
who's
You're
not
the
doing
victim.
something right and
Yeah.
you have to get out of there.
Yeah.
He says he must have put it there and he should have phoned the police right off the bat. I don't know if he's talking about himself in the third person or the neighbor who left the artillery
No,
shell.
the neighbor who left it should have phoned the police.
But
that
wait
they're-
a second. Were you sure right away what you were looking at? Danny Vello says, yeah.
I feel like you're reading it like Bruce McCullough's character from Were You Sure What You
Yeah.
Were Looking
It
At?
was when I read this, it was very hard for me to
One
not start doing a
time when
Canadian
I was
dialect.
7,
Yeah, I
there's
worked
a
at
girl who smokes.
I remember that character. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
you do. You're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He says, yeah. I worked at the Lac La Biche bombing range many times because I have worked as an iron worker all over Canada. He just wanted to say what he's done in his
Okay.
life,
Very
right?
impressive.
Or you're not great at it if you have to work all over Canada. Like, to me, you get a good job and you stay in it and then you rise
How
up.
do you know what the iron business is like
Well,
in
it's
Canada?
not like stand-up. You're not like, I have an iron gig in Winnipeg this weekend.
Maybe
I
you
gotta
do.
go.
Maybe you do.
You're looking at me like, no, I don't know. I don't know the iron world.
The Canadian iron. You're
No,
not,
the
you're
Canadian-
not well versed in the Canadian iron
I
industry.
should be, but I am not.
So every year you go out
This
to
should be right in my wheelhouse.
Lac La Biche bombing range. They teach you 3 hours of the most boring video about bombs. When I see a bomb, I knew it wasn't an inert bomb because I didn't see any drill holes in it. It was solid brass, and I knew it was old.
There's a point in this interview where the woman is getting information that's important, and she is saying to herself, "I'm afraid I asked this thing to. Why
Exactly.
did I
Yes.
open this can of worms?"
We want to see how big this shell is?
Yeah.
Look at it.
I don't.
Okay, don't
Can
look.
you just show it? Don't.
Just show it to
It
us.
will be on.
Oh, my God.
It will be on.
That's up
That's a
next to
bag
the
of
fence.
trash next
That's
to
a
it.
miniature bag of trash. So that shell's actually really
just like
tiny.
it's like a finger.
If
Yeah.
you
A
want to see
hotel
it,
bathroom bag of trash is
hey,
what that is.
join the Facebook page. We have many thousands more listeners than people who are members of the Facebook page. You should just follow the page so you can see how
Were you worried?
giant
So you
shell.
can see how tiny that bag of trash
Yeah,
is.
it's the tiniest bag of trash.
Were you worried? Did you think maybe it could explode? She asked Danny Vello. He says, oh, yeah. I had a doctor's appointment to get my shoulder looked at because I cracked my shoulder blade. Again,
Why
Danny
is he
Vello.
hopping fences?
Why is he telling everything about his life that isn't being asked?
If you cracked your shoulder blade, the last thing I would say is, you know what? Let's take a tricky fence hop.
Tricky fence hop.
Tricky fence hop.
My favorite 90s rapper.
No, there was more like beat house music.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
It's trip hop.
Tricky, yeah.
Atmospheric house music is tricky fence.
Were you worried? Oh, yeah. I had a doctor's appointment to get my broken shoulder looked at because I cracked my shoulder blade. And on the way, I phoned the police. So I got a phone call, and I was at the beer store, and he said, what do
Who
you...
asked? No one cares.
I know.
Exactly.
He keeps going into this.
There's just more. He's one of those people who tries to like stuff more facts in
Right.
to the sandwich. You're just like, we don't need.
He's like,
we don't need to know
Stay
you're
on-
at the beer
stay
store.
on track.
Did I tell you
And
about
wait, the beer store?
I know.
I was getting Labatt's Blue. They didn't have Labatt's
You mean the
Red.
liquor store?
Yeah.
No, the beer
the
store.
beer store. Beer store.
I tried to get a 24 case. They only had an 18. We don't
Right.
need to hear all this.
With my cracked shoulder, I can't carry it. Like
This is the guy-
asked
All
the
right,
guy
we
to
don't-
wheel it out on a two-wheel dolly. He didn't have a two-wheel. He put it on a four-wheel dolly.
This is the guy who says to you, "Did I tell you about the time I found a military shell? All right, it was 2 weeks earlier, and I just
No. Start right when you saw it.
No.
That's when you put the phone on speaker and you go start doing all the things you have to do. And then in 20 minutes we'll be at the store.
This girl that I dated years ago, there was somebody that just drove me insane, would call me all the time, just so boring, just the most boring person. And this was years ago, before caller ID, and I'd pick up the phone and I'd be stuck. And my ex and I would take the phone and truly it didn't matter what this person was talking about or how you responded, they would just keep going. And so I go, and then I'd throw the phone across the apartment to my ex. She'd grab the phone, she'd go, and then she'd throw it back to me. And like, oh wow. Throw it back to her. And this is like across a pretty good sized apartment.
That's called the tricky phone toss.
Yeah.
Tricky phone toss.
That's gold.
At least you turned it into fun.
Oh my
God.
It drove me insane.
Because it's like there is a total blind spot. Like your entire life is a blind spot when you're doing that.
They're like a conversational Roomba. You just turn it on and it'll just keep finding its way around this conversation.
We're now under the couch.
They don't need you at all. It's automated.
They don't need you.
Yeah.
Is that the same for people that text and email and you never respond to them, and then those are
and they'll just keep going.
Rumbas?
Yeah.
Communication rumbas.
Rumbas?
So I got a phone call. I was at the beer store, and he said, "What are you doing at the beer store?" The he in this part is the cops.
The cops, okay, fine.
And he said, "What are you doing at the beer store?" I said, "Well, I'm not going to the doctor, and I'm not going to stand there all day. I'm going to go get some beer, and I'll be right back there in 10 minutes." So
he's self-medicating his shoulder?
Yeah.
And wait, this is in a written article?
Yes.
The problem then becomes the problem of the
editor.
The editor.
I know.
This is no longer the lunatic at the beer store.
Right.
This is a
the
person
editor
that's
is like fit to print.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's good. So you don't want to cut this down at all?
No.
Yeah.
You think it's good to go?
And whoever's interviewing this person.
Yeah.
They relayed all this information.
Well, they're like, well, we got to keep in that he said he's at the beer store and decided not to go to the doctor. And that's referenced, so we got to go earlier and put in the part where he talks about going to the doctor.
This is a story about an artillery shell, so obviously we're going to talk about how much beer he was buying
and how
his shoulder.
And how he was going to his doctor's appointment.
I love to remember he said 2 sentences earlier, he said, I had a doctor's appointment, so I called on my way. And then 2 sentences later, he says, well, I'm not going to go to the doctor and I'm not going to stand there all day, so I went to get some beer and I'll be back in 10 minutes.
Which, by the way, is the Canadian way to sort of handle everything.
Yeah, just
beer.
I'm not going to do this. I'll see you at the beer store.
Going to the beer store.
Get a Molson Ice.
So I get back. There.
Oh,
okay.
Good, there's more.
Yep. Now the bomb is 3 feet from me. Why don't you know what it is? And you've gone back.
By the way, the bomb didn't move. You're making it seem like it's like coming towards.
I turn around and all of a sudden the bomb's 3 feet from me.
Next thing you know everything.
Right.
You knew how you got 3 feet from it.
Next thing.
And the police officer, so now he's standing 3 feet from the bomb.
Mm-hmm.
But keep in mind, this is someone who went to the beer store.
And hops fence as part of their walk.
We're getting a story from a man who's been at the beer store.
Already had a trip to the beer store.
We're about to go to another level. And then the police officer drove up with his car right up to me and said, quote, "Are you Danny from the beer store?" And he said, yes. So
No.
That is now how he wants to be
addressed
identified.
at all times.
Danny from the beer store.
No more Danny Vello. I'm Danny from the beer store. Are you Danny from the beer store? Yes. And the cop says, "Where's this bomb?" Okay.
Where's this bomb you've been talking about?
Right. And I pointed to it. Right where his front tire was. The cop nearly drove over the bomb.
All right, that's smart.
2 feet away. He backed up and he came over and he took 2 pictures.
One selfie.
Get in here with me and the bomb.
Get in here. Let's see if we can get the bomb.
No, you saying it to the bomb. Get in here. Get in here. Come on.
Bomb's
You're too far.
not getting any closer.
Next thing I know, that bomb's between me and the cop.
That bomb drank all my LeBlancs. 10 minutes later, everything's happening in 10-minute increments.
Yeah.
10 minutes later.
This is from Beer News Daily.
Beer Store News Daily.
That's from the CBC.
The Beer Store Gazette.
Yeah. As I pointed down to it, right where his front tire was, 10 minutes later, the bomb squad's here. 10 minutes later, the bomb squad took a picture. 10 minutes later, I'm not lying.
No.
Wisconsin, USA phoned him and said, don't touch it, it's military. So according to Danny from the Beer Store,
A state.
Wisconsin called the cops.
A state called the cops.
Which also means that the
Canadian
police had to outsource whether or not this was a bomb to the state of Wisconsin.
I guess they took a picture.
Dan.
They took a picture and
That's
sent
where the
it.
Princeton flea market was. We've come
It
full
is.
circle.
We have. And they're sending somebody out here, and we sat there for 12, 14 hours until they picked it up. How glad was Danny from the Beer Store? Glad he went to the Beer Store.
Oh, my God.
He waited for 12 to 14 hours.
He had something to do.
He was a glad man.
Yeah. And when you have a bomb like that, you want to definitely...
And you will.
You want to wait around it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they say. We sat there for 12 to 14
You
hours.
want to direct cars over to it. You want to
Come
be
over. They're going to take
full
it.
of beer.
Look what we found.
Well, you had it. Are you going to the beer store?
Why don't you go grab me some more?
The reporter then asked, you sat where? How close were you to the bomb? And he says, about 70 feet. I made sure there was a big tree in front of me, and the police were all the way on the other
Smart.
side of the intersection over there in a culvert.
Because if you're concerned about something impaling you,
You
Get
put a tree
Get a
between you and the
tree.
thing.
Yes. And,
And then
So
you
it'll
know.
blow up into shards of wood.
and he says they sat there all day watching that bomb, which means if I'm picturing this correctly, Danny from the Beer Store, the cops have gone way far away.
He's
But
only 70 feet away.
he's in between them and the bomb. Like, and they're probably like, Danny from the Beer Store.
Gotta get
Get
out of
over. No.
You know
Cross
there's a
the
cop
street.
who's got binoculars on who's like, do we have eyes on the bomb? We still have eyes on the bomb. Okay, good.
Right.
Hasn't moved at all?
Do you have any theories as to why there was an artillery shell in your neighbor's garbage? Remember that they keep asking him these questions.
Right. No one asked
No one
the guy
bothers
who's...
to ask the neighbor.
The people who were renting that apartment, they told me they were brothers. Apparently, they're not brothers. They offered me some empties. I went over there to pick up the empties. They were kicked out. I heard yelling the night before. And then they had
What are
new...
the empties?
empty beer bottles to maybe go get recycled.
I guess.
To then have enough money for the beer store.
And then they had new neighbors in there. The next day, it looked like somebody was sorting it out. I think it was the landlord. That's good stuff and bad stuff. You know what I mean?
I have the feeling this took place in a beautiful neighborhood.
Yes. This is what I love.
Picturesque.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I'm going to read his sentence, and then I'm going to read the reporter's response. And they had new neighbors in there. The next day, it looked like somebody was sorting it out. I think it was the landlord. The good stuff, the bad stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's what the reporter's
put
done.
that in.
This reporter has checked
Okay,
out of
by
this
the way,
story.
the reporter definitely does not know what he means
Right.
and just was like, we got to wrap this up.
And these two brothers were nefarious. The truck they were driving had no door handles on either side. They said they were broken into. It was probably a stolen vehicle.
This is Bruce McCullough's character all grown up. That's it.
Why would they have an artillery shell from World War I? To which Danny from the
Why are
Beer
you
store
asking
says-
this guy?
No kidding. How does a 100-year bomb make it from 100 years ago till today without blowing up? Just like, where the hell's that bomb been for 100 years? That's like a military shell that you'd have found in Europe, and you dig up farmland somewhere, not here in Canada. Anyways, the police told me I broke 2 records.
Dumbest human in
Right.
Canada.
No. I found the biggest bomb by a civilian. Mm-hmm. And I found the oldest bomb by a civilian.
I'm sure he's not going to tell everybody he knows that story.
No.
Yeah,
This
sure,
is the
that's-
last we'll hear.
This
of
is the last we'll ever hear about that.
You
from
know
him.
why? Because he's going to start telling the story, but he'll never get to this point before he dies.
Did they then gave him, because now he wants to be known as Danny the Bomb Guy.
Yeah.
But did they take it away? Yeah, the military showed up and took it, and they blew it up there, and they have facilities there, and the police told me there was a spectacular explosion. This guy is still at the beer store.
Yeah. Jesus.
No kidding, eh? I wanted to make a lamp out of it, he said. Can I get it back?
A lamp. Oh, there'll be lighting. There'll be bright lights.
The movie of this would be called Paul Thomas Anderson. There will be lighting.
They go, there was a spectacular explosion, Danny. He said, no kidding, I wanted to make a lamp out of it. Then he said, hey, can I get it back? And they said, quote, Danny, we blew it up this morning.
Yeah, but can I get it back? Okay.
No.
This is really just about Danny.
This is about his.
How can a story about a 100-year-old bomb that was put out by the trash not be about the guys who put it out there?
Do you guys want to see Danny?
Yes.
Do you want to, Tig?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Look at him.
My God.
His arm is in a sling
I'm surprised.
because of the
gotta
shoulder. He's
got
holding a beer.
He's got a mustache.
And isn't he also holding the bomb?
No, the bomb is in a separate
I think
picture.
that's a
on-
beer can.
Okay. I thought that was standing next
Standing
to
next to him.
Is that Ben Kingsley?
Yes, it's one of
This
his
is the
characters.
best character that Ben Kingsley has never played.
He's in arms in a sling and he's jumping fences.
When was that
Shoulder,
in the
man.
news?
His shoulder
This
is down. His
It
shoulder
was
is down.
sent to me on May 22nd.
Oh,
His shoulder is out,
Yeah,
so he's in the sling.
yeah.
dated
And
May
he's-
18th.
Why is he jumping a fence? Wouldn't you need both hands to jump a fence?
I don't know. I just love in the
I
dumb
do.
people.
Usually when you're doing it, you do.
In Dumb People Town, you can find a military shell, and that's not the most interesting thing to you.
Or the dumbest thing.
Nope,
Is that
not
it?
at all. Yeah, that's story number
There
one.
you go.
Jeez
Story one.
Louise.
We start with an explosion of dumbness.
story.
An
Yeah.
Story and
explosive
dumbness.
beginning. An explosive beginning.
All right, that's it. Story number one. When we come back, more with the great Tig Notaro. This is Dumb People Town. Stay with us.
It's a trying time that challenges all of our basic assumptions. However, one thing that brings us all together is our common humanity. Now, more than ever, teams must come together and work together to solve big challenges. And Trello is here to help. Trello, part of Atlassian's collaborative suite, is an app with an easy-to-understand visual format. Plus, tons of features that make working with your team functional and just plain fun. Teams of all shapes and sizes and companies like Google, Fender, and even Costco all use Trello to collaborate and get work done. With Trello, you can work with your team wherever you are, whether it's at home or in an office. No matter what device you're using, computer, tablet, or phone, Trello syncs across all of them, so you can stay up to date on all the things your team cares about. Keep your workflow going from wherever you are with Trello. Try Trello for free and learn more at Trello.com. That's Trello.com. Trello.com.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. As we mentioned in the first segment, Tig has a wonderful new stand-up special on Netflix. It's hilarious.
Did you mention that?
I think we
We
just
did
mentioned-
initially. We talked about
Oh,
it at the very beginning. Happy to be here
Happy to be here. Yeah.
Where'd you do it?
in Houston.
Houston.
What venue in Houston?
It's called the Heights Theater. Just a
What did it
little
hold?
place.
See, it looked intimate. It was kind
Oh,
of
it's
nice.
very intimate. There were 300 people there.
It was perfect. I loved it, and also you
Itsy
hadn't
bitsy.
been back to Houston in a while.
No,
It'd been like
over
10
a
years.
decade. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. We were thinking about where we did it. We did our last one in Chicago, about the same size venue. We had been there, but it had been a few years since we were back. So
You always got to sort of plan to go to places that haven't heard this material.
Yeah.
You know, that's always a rough thing of like, I really want to do it here, but we were just there.
Yeah.
So if you do it, people will be like, yeah, can't surprise you.
Yeah.
Were you happy how it came out?
Yeah. I mean,
How do you ever watch them or no? Or are you like, I can't
yeah,
watch them after
I
it's
can't.
done?
I mean, I also was, not that I did the editing, but I directed it. So I was also just dealing a lot with the material and
Yeah.
the edits and sound and
Did you
everything.
do it twice in one night?
Yeah.
Good. And did you have that thing where you're like, you felt better about a show maybe on the night, and then you get into the editing room and you're like, oh no, it was this one. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I knew what show was the
Gonna be
show.
the spine.
Yeah, yeah.
and you used pretty much most of it from that show. That's
yeah,
great.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
the same with us.
Well, although we were wrong because we thought we got.
That was like us, except we were wrong.
No, but we used mostly from one show. That was most of the show, right? Don't you?
Yeah,
think so?
but we went.
We
into
thought it was
thinking
gonna be
gonna
the
show
second show.
2, and then we got into the editing room and we're like, oh my god, we're so
you had
much
to
more.
use my show one.
We used your show
part
one.
of your show one, and then the rest of our show too,
That all
I mean, it
happened.
makes for some weird edits.
Yeah.
and
But
massive jump
Because the
cuts.
stand-up is you, but the reaction shots from the audience is theirs.
our audience,
Yeah.
our crowd.
That's
really
beautiful.
It was pretty special.
I loved it, and I do watch a lot of stand-up specials just to
Do
kind
you?
of see, just to see what people are doing out there and see where, But it is rare that I am like laughing out loud. I don't know.
we
Just
see the
I just
screen.
see so much comedy all the time. You're out and you're performing all the time.
You're
My
telling me you
attitude's-
LOL'd.
I LOL'd so much. I was slapping things.
No.
Dude.
I'm not gonna
Tig,
sit through lies.
I LOL'd out loud.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I LOL.
LOL already means out loud.
LOL.
You laughed out loud, out loud.
Out loud. My LOLs were not internal. They were external LOLs.
Okay.
No, it's fun. It's great because we within this special is sort of like it's the evolution of all your stuff put together. There's the silliness that has always been there mixed in with the real stuff, and now you've it feels like you've hit your stride. So please.
Well,
please.
I have described this special as being the third piece to a trilogy, which my album Live being the first one when I had cancer, and then Boyish Girl Interrupted being when I crawled out of that and was trying to get my footing in life again. And then this third piece, Happy to Be Here, is my life now, and it's good. No,
It is.
I mean, life is good.
Life is good, and that comes
But
through.
it also-
But here's the thing about it. For people who say you have to have all this turbulence and shittiness in your life to make something that's funny and art, I think this special kind of serves as like, no.
See, I don't buy into
I don't
that.
buy
You
into
have
that
to be
either.
miserable to be
Funny.
No.
Nope.
Because you find what's funny just even in, and I don't want to give it away, but even the things you find about your wife, like asking you things. It's such a simple
well, right.
premise.
I don't need to be having the worst time of my life to recognize that what she just said and what just happened is
Your reaction
hilarious.
to all just the setup of it is like it's a perfect Tig bit. The question that gets asked you that, by the way, everybody, my wife asks me things that I'm sitting there going like, "Are you fucking kidding me? How am I supposed to have that information?"
every day.
So,
How
but
am I
there's the
supposed to have
setup,
that-
and now it's like,
But
here come
so that's
the
my
tags.
attitude, and like all of your. But again, it's set up perfectly for a Tig reaction. So you just have all the time in the world to react to it the way you would have reacted to it in that moment. It's a perfectly crafted bit that isn't born out of like tons of strife. It's just what we live with on a day-to-day basis.
Stephanie and I were at Paul Simon last night at the Hollywood Bowl. She asked me, and he has like a 14-piece band. And, there's the trumpet and the cello and all this stuff. And she turns and asks, do the musicians have, and this is good, this could sound stupid, but she's the smartest person I know.
Yeah, she's super smart.
So smart. She said, do the musicians have to move their body to make the music that they're making? Like, the instrument, like to play the instrument, do they have to move their body like that? It's like, what? No, no, they're like feeling the music,
It's part of the
Yeah.
show. They don't have to.
Yeah, but she's like, the way that, they're like
She thinks they're
jerking a
making
bit
the
or-
sounds by jerking
by
in that
making
way.
the physical
that
motions.
physical motion is somehow, she was just asking, is that, and I'm just like,
Here we go.
no,
Two new tags
Two new
on
minutes.
the bit.
2 new tags on that old bit.
we need to cut that out.
Yeah.
I love it because, again, that happens all the time. And there's a moment where sometimes I'll ask a question. And
I ask those
as
questions
it's coming
all
out
the
of my
time.
mouth, I'm just like,
Nope.
Well, there's a moment where I'll ask a question about something, and my wife will say the one thing that, to me, gets me the most riled up. This is the one phrase that gets me more riled up than any other phrases. If she says to me, well, do you get the emails? I'm like, yeah, I get I get every email. And I just get so mad.
And
It's
does
like,
she mean about her emails? Or
no,
just-
like if an email came and described all the things that I'm asking about right there, she's like, well, do you get them? Because
Oh.
clearly you don't get them. Because if you got them, you would have read them. And if you read them, you would know what this is. And we wouldn't be
Right.
Or
having
maybe
this
she's
conversation
saying,
right
do
now.
you quote unquote get the email?
Maybe I get them, but I don't.
Do you comprehend the email?
I don't
Yeah,
get
how's your
them.
comprehension level?
Yeah.
Clearly, you
Just,
don't get
it fires me up.
all that to say, it's a
All
phenomenal
that to say, I
special.
really connected with it and I loved it.
Well,
And
thank
Go
you.
watch it, everybody. All right, should we
Thanks.
jump into another story?
Yes. You ready?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to say also that first story was sent in by Eric James Hiltner at EJH_3K.
I just stayed in a
Thanks, Eric.
Hiltner, and the pillows were great. Yeah.
Good.
Just want to say that.
It's always my concern at a hotel.
Yep.
This was sent in by Carlene.
I hate in hotels when they use the little pillows.
Yeah. In front?
Well, no, just when they don't give you
yes.
2 big pills,
Yes.
they give you like 4 or 6 little
Yes,
squares.
drives
me
And it's
insane.
like, get me out of here.
Yeah.
Not good. And they're all of varying
Density.
hardness. No, density and hard. Like some are really
Yeah.
soft and some are really hard, but
Well,
nothing
the really
is the exact.
soft one is the one everyone's been using.
I don't
so
like it.
toss
Right.
that.
Yeah,
Why?
get off of that one.
Yeah.
Get off.
Throw that in a corner behind the chair.
I don't want my
Don't
head
look
to be.
at it.
Yeah, exactly.
This was sent in by Carleen McDermott at Sheeby Carleen. Carleen.
She be Carl. The Toys R Us of people.
All right. After retiring from his career as a maths teachers,
Maths
Hello?
teachers?
after retiring from his career as a maths teachers, that's got to be all
That
wrong. That's
cannot
wrong
be
twice,
right.
Makes sense to me.
Oh, okay.
Well, he wasn't an English teacher, so he doesn't have to get this right.
Yeah, we're not.
Right.
Loves S's.
He has a lisp and he wants to use it. Clive, that's all they say,
English.
decided he still wanted to make a difference for future generations. And to do so, he drives up and down the country doing his business in his van in front of strangers' houses. But
Going to the bathroom?
he's not a creep.
Okay.
What is
Which is the only reason I'm even doing this story.
What is his business? Making balloon animals? What is his business?
Masturbating.
Oh.
But he's not a creep.
Well,
Listen,
no. I mean,
But he's not a creep. He gives his sperm away for free to help women have children.
Don't you have to request that?
I think you got to go through.
a system. Like,
I don't know.
Why is
like-
everyone looking at me?
no,
I don't
I'm
know.
You're my
because
guest.
you're the
You're
one
the
woman
guest.
in this room.
I know, but
No, but
You're
here's,
a guest.
Here's my question.
he door to door.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a door-to-door business.
Is he really good looking? What would make him hit the road and be like?
He's a maths teachers.
So he clearly, nope.
I don't know. He's a normal looking guy.
He's not.
He's a normal looking
he's
guy.
in a van.
I mean,
Yeah.
the van part of it is the part that does, in fact, make him a creep.
He's not a
he does-
creep.
I
You
know
don't
he's
think
saying
the masturbating in front of people's houses
in a van is
in a
creep.
van?
Well, he has to.
Because
Whereas,
being in a van in front of someone's house is less creepy.
You
than
could be a
someone-
super shuttle.
but you're already
You could
one
be-
step towards it, just being in a van.
think
If
he
you're
thinks
not
of
driving
himself-
someone to an airport in that van, then you are a creep by being in a van in front of someone's house by the very nature of being in a van.
I think he thinks of himself as a super shuttle of sorts.
Whereas sperm from a fertility clinic would usually cost around £6,000.
So he's cutting out
It
the
is
middleman.
England.
Staffordshire resident Clive gives his away for free, often spending an entire day on the road. You interrupt me at any point.
Well, here's my question. Like, anytime,
Why do you have any questions?
Well, I don't really have.
Yeah, it just makes perfect good sense to me.
Anytime someone says, "Hey, you just want to cruise to somewhere," or you just like you can win $6,000 easily in an email or something like that, we automatically assume don't.
By
do
the way,
that.
when you're driving to a cemetery on Memorial Day or anything, there are people on the side of the road by the cemetery who have flowers, and they give you flowers, and that is cutting the corner of having to go to a supermarket or a florist or whatever. And
Right.
you're like, okay, we're right here. We'll just grab these flowers right here, and we'll go. That is a great corner to cut. I don't know.
However,
I don't know if
This is the corner that needs to be cut.
I don't know if this is where you want to cut.
Well, he says it costs around £6,000. So what's that, like $8,000? $9,000?
It weighs 6,000 pounds.
No.
Yes,
it
his
costs-
sperm weighs
It weighs
6,000 pounds.
these are gonna be some big babies.
Some big babies.
Big old babies.
Often spending an entire day on the road, he drives his van to wherever he's needed, climbs in the back, and fills a syringe with his sperm, which he keeps warm under his arm until handing it over.
Okay, I don't think that
that's
is
where
the
I'm
correct
out.
way.
That's the part where I'm out.
Really? That's the part you jump out?
Yes,
His
if everybody-
refrigeration
If
process?
he set up a third-party business for people to say, "Hey, we can't afford 6,000 pounds, but you seem like a nice guy and you've done this service
We
for other
wanna
people," I'm
conceive.
fine.
Yeah.
But keeping the sperm in your armpit to keep it warm until you give it to somebody, that creeps me out. Great, I'm wrong.
He is trying. He is.
I'm fine with an armpit.
Is he trying to like? He's trying. Okay, so he genuinely wants to help people out who feel like I can't
Right.
afford
Right.
this.
But this is totally like a dumb people town
But don't
business.
you think it's more somebody that's wanting
wants to spread his own
Yeah,
seed out into
yeah,
the world.
Of
I
course.
think
like a
it's
British
probably
Johnny
that.
Appleseed.
Yeah.
It's
literally.
probably.
yeah. I don't think this is just somebody
who's altruistic.
I am here to help.
Right. He to me
Just
seems
look
like
for this gross van.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's what bothers me. Look at the
Sputtering
van.
up to your
You know
house.
what really bothers
No
me
pun
about the
intended.
van?
The wood windows.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's 100%.
And the way he's sitting. I mean, it's like
his belt.
He's sitting like he thinks he's in an Eddie Bauer catalog.
No, he's sitting like he goes and masturbates in front of people's houses in a van.
By request.
Yeah.
I give them the syringe and we'll talk to them for about 5 to 10 seconds just to make a bit of idle chit chat.
What?
Don't. Nope.
That-
no
is
one
that
asked
the
for that.
longest
Where's the
five-
idle? How? My question would be the transition from the idle
Yeah,
chit
there
chat
should be
to
no idle chit chat.
There should be no eye
It
contact.
should be all facts, full of information.
There should be no idle van.
Yeah.
there should be no idling
I'm going
whatsoever.
to keep the van running, keep the van idling.
It's the only idle.
The only
that
idol
you
I
have.
accept in England is Eric Idle at this point. Just making a joke out of this thing.
He says, the idle chit chat, I want to know that
This
conversation.
is insane.
Hauling his 6,000-pound sperm around in a van.
You having a good day? Well, I guess I'll just get the old sperm out of the pit. And
You
I'll
can't
be
move on
gone.
from that pit.
Weird weather we're having. Nope.
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 No,
You cannot.
get the sperm out
Just
from
get
your
it up
pit.
under your arm
Take
and
it
hand
out
it to
from
me
under
and
your
then
arm.
walk away.
Clive
Walk
says
away.
they're often nervous and it's just a way of putting them at ease.
Oh, really? They're nervous that a man just
Masturbated in their
In front of their house.
stuck it in a syringe, stuck
But
it under his arm,
by
and
request.
then handed it to.
And then chit chat.
then the idle chit chat is the worst part. Don't make me sit through that.
While a third of
I
his
still feel like the man masturbating in a van outside the house is the worst part.
That
you
is
think
the worst.
idle chit chat, you think armpit.
Well,
I'm going with
the original
glaring,
act.
the glaring
Original.
issue.
Let me ask you though. Okay, but let's think about it. Let's say we are going to pay a guy, or we're going to use this guy's services because we don't have the money.
That's right.
For where's the best place for? Would you have him come into your house and do it?
I would
hope
look
that-
into adoption.
Yeah, or
I would just go look into adoption.
Or I would say, yeah. I
if
would look-
somebody was like, here, do you want a man masturbating in a van in front of your house and then bringing the 6,000-pound sperm in under his armpit? Or would you like to adopt? And it's like, obviously, we're going to be adopting.
we'll take these
is
babies.
the thing about making the batch in front of the house about, is it an In-N-Out Burgers thing of like, I just want to show that I'm making it on the spot?
Freshest ingredients.
Like, why can't he do it if he does? I'm assuming he has a house, but maybe that's a big
Oh no,
assumption.
he does.
Oh, no. He lives in a house.
I would think so. He's a retired maths teacher.
Math, there's a pension with the math.
There was a
teachings.
dog. There was a dog groomer that used to come up and
the
she
shampoo
would
the dog
And
in the
masturbate
van.
in front of your house.
She would masturbate the dog.
But she did it in a very tasteful way. No. So she would come up and she would wash the dogs in her van, and I still thought that was creepy.
She's providing a service.
Did
So
she
is
bring
he.
him back in with the dog under
dog-
her armpit?
Of course. You want to keep it warm.
They're always warm. You got to keep the dog.
My dog was a German Shepherd, so it was a hard thing to keep on her armpit.
Some
but-
idle chit chat.
a little idle chit chat. How about those Dodgers? And then before you know
Boom,
it,
it's like she's handing you a syringe full of your
We're old
dog's sperm.
friends. While a third of his donations work first time, another third of his
He has
customers
to swing back around.
customers need
okay.
two or three visits, and others can take as many as 6. 6 times he's idling out in front of your house.
but can't he just do it at home
I would love
and
to,
then keep it?
I know you do
buy
it
a
at home
warmer
and have like a
microwave?
some sort of
or
a
find
warmer.
a different way to give back.
He makes on average 16 donations per month, but only a couple result in a pregnancy. For those that don't work, he always returns the next month with another syringe.
Uninvited.
Oh yeah, none
We have
of this
agreed to
is
do
invited.
this. I'm in it for the long haul.
At 3 a.m. with a boombox.
Clive
on the front lawn.
originally wanted to donate his sperm through the proper channels, but most clinics won't take donations from men over 45 due to increased risk of health complications like autism.
Oh, so he's going to pass that on to the people as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's also open with his customers about the fact that his father had a brain tumor and provides a clear STD results upon request. If
Oh,
you
so
ask.
he has STD.
STD results. Okay, so
Yes.
and there's no reason to question that.
No,
However-
long list of STDs. You can see them all right here.
I furnished the list.
However, because he doesn't offer his sperm through government-approved human fertilization and embryology authority licensed clinic, he could still technically be considered the legal parent and charged maintenance. So any kid that he gives, they could be like, well, you're the dad.
You're the dad.
You're on the hook for this kid's life.
I don't think he
If
understands
they wanted
that.
to. He hopes that by using the van, he will put distance between himself and the families.
And every person.
Yeah.
Yes. And strengthen his argument that he's really nothing but a donor. So that's his pre-planned defense. Your Honor, I did this.
I have clearly discussed this with an attorney.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to push the van defense.
Hey, by the way,
Look, I pulled up in a van.
by the way, here's how you know you're doing something wrong. When you have to pre-plan a defense. Like, no one goes to work pre-planning their defense.
You're not doing anything right if you've already said, how will I defend that I was doing this right?
Hey, you know what? The van put some distance between you and an elementary school.
And I'm imagining
500 yards.
you and your real kids.
Yeah.
Those are his real kids.
That's true. So all of them.
Yes.
So says the
But
state.
I only have 71 babies.
I also know technically if any of the ladies wanted to report me to the child support agency in the future, they could nail me for 18 years of child payments, he said. That's never happened, but it's another reason why I use my van. I don't understand. Is he living in the van?
No.
So he has no address?
I think he thinks the van makes him invisible.
That's right.
Because it allows him to masturbate in front of people's houses.
That's right.
He's like, when I go in the van, it's like Harry Potter's invisibility cloak.
I'm wearing the cloak.
Nobody knows I'm there.
Yeah,
And I'm
everybody
so
knows.
invisible, and let's do this article about me.
And, let's take a shot of me sitting on the back of the
Let me
van.
go through all of the everything I do
In
and
the
all
van.
my fears of
Here's the
getting
reason-
caught.
He looks like
But I am in a van.
I'm in a van.
I'm in a van.
So we're good.
I can get away from this interview at any moment because I have the van. The idea that he was just him sitting on the van, and Dan, please post this on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
It looks like he just finished up. Doesn't he have that feeling
It's
of
got
like
a glow.
Yeah.
He has a.
But despite the fact that his wife and kids are less than impressed by his personal quest,
He's married.
he's determined to keep going until he has reached his goal of fathering a certain number of kids.
See, I knew that's
You
what it
were
was.
absolutely
You were right.
Quote, I am so proud that I have fathered these children. I love the joy it brings. So many people say, thank you so much, Clive. You really have changed our lives. He explained.
So many people except for my wife and kids. Those are three people that don't.
So many people thank me that I don't get regularly on a regular basis when I'm at my house.
And by kid, he has to caveat. It's like, except for my wife and the kids I didn't make in the van. I put those ones were house-made.
They're the home kids.
As for developing an attachment to the kids he fought, what were you going to say, Tig? I feel like I cut you off.
No, I'm stunned.
Yeah.
As for developing an attachment to the kids
And
he's
grateful
fathered,
for my life.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. At the
And
same moment.
I'm just, yeah.
he remains in touch with 5 or 6 of the kids that he has helped create, but insists that he's never had any, quote, feelings. What? I don't know if that's in quotes because he said
you
it
know
or
what?
because he's
You know
never
what
had
takes
feelings
him
with
away
his
from
wife.
all the feelings?
The van.
That's right.
Yeah.
takes him away from everything.
Just drive
It's
away
like
from
a
your feelings.
child. Like, they're like, I could just get in the van and just
I did that in the van.
drive away.
I did that in the van, so this is
Van
international
is
water.
home
Van
base.
doesn't count.
You can't touch me because van is home base.
Van's
doesn't
Ghoul. I was
count.
on Ghoul and Van is Ghoul.
It doesn't count.
When I first set out, I did wonder if I'd feel anything. You never know how the emotional side is going to play out. You wonder if you'll start to think that they are your children and you'll want access. But I've never had any of these feelings. I think he's talking about his first kids and
His own
these
kids,
ones.
right? His
Yeah.
own family.
I'm going to ask you guys. Tig, you are our guest. You can go first. Tig
or third.
How many kids has he helped to be born?
How long has he been doing this?
It doesn't say. I would imagine at least a year.
Oh.
Do you want to go first? You or third?
I'm going to go, I'll go Tig.
Okay. All right. Who?
Jay?
Jay?
I think he keeps in touch with 5 or 6. He can't be expected to know the exact number. I'm going to say 18.
18. Okay.
18 took.
Tig Notaro in the Tig spot.
I'm going to say 53.
53.
Wow, that's a lot of kids.
I'm going to say 30.
30.
30. I'm right in the between these guys.
Okay.
30.
Clive, who does his business in the van that separates him from everything else in life, has fathered, well, 14 are on the way, but he's given conception to 79 kids.
Oh my God.
What do you think his goal is?
I earlier yelled, but I've only
71.
had 71
I know.
kids.
You were so...
You were so
I had
close.
to double look when you said that. What do you guys think his goal is?
100.
100.
I think it's 100.
I think once you do 100, all your kids go into syndication. Is that right?
These kids got picked up for another 6 years.
Do you want to throw a guess on what you think his goal is, Tig?
Does it say in there what it is?
Yes.
Okay, great. What do you think?
I'm going to say 1,000.
His goal is 100. Sklars for the win.
Thank you.
I'll take that.
That's the story of Clive, who's, they tell you in the second sentence, not a creep.
Not a creep.
A Clive and Kickin.
Clive and Kickin. All right, there you go. Give me a little taste of what we're going to see in segment 3.
Okay, ready? Mm-hmm. A man is followed home by not another person.
Okay. All right. That's what we got in segment 3. Tig Notaro is with us. She's in the Tig slot. She actually answered in the Tig slot, which I love so much. And we'll be back with more Dumb People Town right after this.
Hey there, Adam Conover here. Humans Who Make Games is my podcast where I sit down with the people who created some of your favorite video games and have the kind of long-form personal conversation we so rarely get to hear. We talk about how they got into the industry, what their favorite games were growing up, and what it's like working in the trenches of this century's greatest new art form. This season, we've got a whole batch of new interviews for you. I talked to Kim Swift from Portal, Alex Preston from Hyperlight Drifter, Anna McGill from Control, and Alex Beecham from the game Outer Wilds. Whether you love video games or you just love learning more about other artists' creative process, I can guarantee you're going to love this podcast. So, you can get Season 2 of Humans Who Make Games wherever you get your podcasts. Take a listen.
Hey guys, welcome back to DPT, final segment. Anything you want to remind people? Are you doing any shows that people can come see
Are you doing any Largo shows in the near future or live stuff out on the road?
I do a Largo show every month.
Super fun. We've done it. It's great.
And yep, you have done it. What else? I just have my special.
Great.
Happy to be here.
Watch it.
I'm always doing shows. I'm always up to something.
I love it.
Jokes.
So jokes,
bits,
van work. Your van work is very tight.
You can't find me in a van.
Can't find me in a van
That's
ever.
not true. I pulled up in a van today.
Did you?
You did?
Yeah.
Nice.
Minivan.
Love it.
Is it idling?
Baby seats.
Baby seats in the back.
Empty.
Okay, ready?
I'm glad that they're not in there. Right.
You want to do a third?
Let's do it.
Sent in by Isabel at Izzy G, IZZYGEE, Northridge, Ohio. Sometimes police get really strange calls. Such was the case for officers in Northridge, Ohio, who received a call from a man who said he was walking home from the train station and a pig started following him and he didn't know what to do.
So this is one of those things where if a pig's following you on the street, you cross over to the other side of the street. If the pig crosses over with you, then you
got a problem on your hands.
Then you have a brand new pig.
I know. How long would a pig be following you?
Yeah, but
why are you like, I got to call the cops?
Because pigs eat people.
No.
You feed people to pigs. Haven't you seen that?
Probably a group of pigs would eat a person.
Yes,
a
but
dead
I don't
read
think
person.
that. That
one
takes place
pig-
in
I don't think a pig
Hannibal,
can take you down. Yeah, I don't think a pig
you
can.
could kick the snout away or something.
Also, it's just following him. It's not charging. It's literally like, where are you going?
Yeah, but
hey.
it's following and it's snorting.
It
It's
does. No,
snortling.
you're saying
You don't know that it was
Yeah.
snorting.
It is.
Can I
Pigs-
say that my son, I just started playing him Insane in the Membrane because he just likes that song so much. And the line, these pigs going to blow my house down, he thinks is the funniest thing in the world because it's a reversal of the wolf blowing
Yes.
the house down. And
Is that what it is, Jay?
no, the pigs are cops, man. In this,
Oh,
do you need to
explain a little more, Jay. I think we all got it.
but maybe
classic Cypress Hill.
maybe
turn of
Be
a
Real from Cypress Hill knows something about pigs that we don't know that this person has internalized.
He was
in this
being
phone.
literal. You
Yeah.
got to watch out for
He's
literal
like,
pigs
these things
out
are
there.
powerful. They could take my house down. They could eat me.
How long do you think a pig was following this guy before he was like, I need the cops. I need them right
Could
now.
have been weeks.
That would have been great.
Everywhere he goes.
He's like Ray Liotta at the end of Goodfellas, just looking for helicopters.
It's such a confusing combination of nursery rhymes with Mary had a little lamb that followed her everywhere
Yes.
she went,
Yeah.
and the pig. The three little pigs.
Three little pigs.
Yeah, so this is...
The idea of him stepping out of a building and then all of a sudden at the same time the pig steps out of another building like he's been waiting for it to come. Or just adjust the mirror in his car and it looks like there's a pig in a car.
What if Tig's right? And what if it
or
did
a pig in the back seat.
of an Uber?
Yeah,
Oh, no.
reading a newspaper, holding it with its
And he just
cloven hooves.
He just keeps calling his brother, make sure he's stirring the sauce.
Is he there?
Okay, so this was a key. He told the police he was walking home from a train station when the pig started following him. He didn't know what to do. He's freaking out. Yeah. Thinking he had just left the bar in El Ria, I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
New York City. Named the train station. Police went out to pick up a caller who they believed was drunk. So he literally was walking from a train station. He said, I just left the train station.
And they thought it was...
And so these cops are going to be like, we got a drunk idiot out here. Meanwhile, he's like, please help me as soon as you can.
Is he allowed
Stone cold sober, pig following me.
Right.
Is he allowed to sue the people who named the bar the train station? Just for out of confusion?
Yes, that's on them.
And do you think that the police asked for his description? And he's like, I'm the guy with the pig following him.
Yeah, exactly.
Could you describe the pig, please?
He's about 2'3".
Yeah.
He's
Walking on his hind legs.
pretty pink. All the way around.
Curly little tail.
Reading a newspaper in his cloven hooves.
Snorting.
We don't know. And Tig, you wrote this. When officers arrived, they found the man stone cold sober, complete with his four-legged stalker in tow. Also, from the pig's perspective, he's probably like wants a friend. Yeah. Like you seem friendly. Like then the cop show was like, "Whoa, man, whoa!"
Or
he's like wants to have sex. I don't know. Like there's a lot.
Pigs can smell fear.
I'm going to show you guys the pig. Let me know if you feel like just you would call the cops.
You'd be worried if you saw this. Yeah.
You'd call the cops on this guy?
Not pink at all.
It's like almost
you were
boorish.
Picturing a cartoon pig.
I was going to tell you were picturing
this is okay.
Like a boar.
Right,
so like a wild boar.
Yeah, this is a hairy,
dark. If you didn't know, could have been a giant rat.
Yeah.
A nutria or something.
Yeah,
Call the
nutria
cops?
and white eyes.
Yeah.
I would have called the cops. Yeah.
The weird thing is
I would have called the ambulance. I would have made a round of calls.
This thing is fun.
I would have called the guy in the van.
You're leaving voicemails. Hey, called a few other people just trying to put this out there.
I'd try and get it in
Like
Clive's van.
Look at this. Before cell phones.
Where's Clive when you need him?
Right, you need a van. Before cell phones, this guy would have had to outrun this thing. That's it.
Yeah,
that's all
what
I'm
saying. That's why you don't need the cops for this.
By the way, pigs can be fast. They have
Why
like
do you have
bursts
so
of
many
speed.
pig facts?
I don't know. They can be fat. I've seen them.
humans.
But guys, it's not chasing him.
Did you say fast or fat?
Both.
You guys, pigs can be fat.
Just letting you know. I'm putting it out there. I know it's an unpopular viewpoint. Sometimes you got to state some things that might be controversial. Pigs might be fat.
According to authorities, the man told them he was walking from an Amtrak station when the animal decided to go for a walk with him. Nothing about this is threatening to me. Nope. I would have been
the
like...
pig might have been heading in the same direction.
Exactly.
Are you walking this way? Maybe the pig's scared. I need someone to walk.
The pig's like, hey, man, just walk where you're going, dude. You don't need to keep looking back at me.
The pig police.
There's a guy in front of me, and he keeps walking the path I'm walking. In the end, the pig was very cooperative and placed in the back of a police cruiser and taken to the station. Police made the animal feel at home for a bit inside the department's dog kennels.
How much do they want to take one mugshot of it and put it put it online?
Or just let it loose in the jail.
They need a little fun. Let it loose in the drunk tank. That'd be so fun.
That's how you scare like a high school kid. You take them to the holding cell and there's already a pig in there. Be like, welcome to jail.
Yeah.
Like, no, sir.
No, this is what you signed up for.
So the man's calling a pig about a pig. You know what I'm saying?
Folks. And folks.
and folks.
They put the pig in one of the department's dog kennels to make it feel at home. That is not where an animal lives.
Nope.
Like, oh, thank God, guys, I'm in a cage.
Thank God I'm in a tiny,
smaller
cage.
Police station.
In a tiny confined space.
Basically a tiny jail in a police
inside
station.
of a jail. Yes.
This is so much better than when I was roaming around out there trying to make friends with a guy. Thank you so much.
Out
on the
doggy
town.
jails. Let's get one of them doggy jails.
They kept him in the dog kennel until the owner was notified. So it is a domesticated pig who was just looking for a friend.
He smelled his owner.
Authorities.
And how do you
He probably
track down
smells
the
my
owner?
pig.
You guys.
But I mean, how do you locate someone with a missing pig?
Facebook, it has to be. Every cop, all these stories on Tig are just the cops putting their messages out to Facebook. And everybody who,
I've been on Facebook and I've never gotten a message from
No,
a
but they
cop.
put
if we were in a small town right now, that would be one of your number one follows.
Follow us on Facebook.
Right. So they put it on Facebook. The guy comes.
Or
it's all
girl.
good. Or the girl. It's all. I'm going to assume it's a guy. And the guy says, we're all good. We got the pig. You're coming
Right.
home with me. Everyone's like, this story has a happy ending. As the guy's going out the door, he's like, oh, I'm going to fuck it. And then the door shuts. You're like, no!
Get in the van.
Oh, no!
Authorities didn't say if the owner was cited for having a pig on the loose. I don't understand why the owner would be cited for that.
You got to leash that pig. You got to leash that pig.
Yeah, no freewheeling pigs out there.
Exactly. Don't let them run.
All right, that's story 3, y'all.
Jeez, Louise. That's a show.
It is a show.
I think we got ourselves a show here. To anything live stuff for you, Daniel?
Yes, on the 24th of June. That sounds right. Sunday, I am going to be co-headlining in Portland, Oregon, at the Siren Theater with John Roy, and then on the 15th of July, doing another co-headlining show with John Roy at the Bug Theater in Denver.
I love it.
So
And to all those
love
who
to see
came,
so many townies out there.
all those who came and saw us in Cleveland, thank you very much. We'll be in Salt Lake City
Ooh,
the
where
22nd
were you in
and 23rd.
Cleveland?
Well, we were this weekend.
This
coming
coming
up,
weekend.
because we're recording this now. Time jump. We were at Hilarities in
Oh,
Cleveland, which I
okay.
love so much. What a wonderful
Cleveland's
club.
a great city.
Super
Great
city,
city.
great
Yeah.
comedy town. We love it. And they have a lot to celebrate. They're in the NBA Finals.
So we're in Salt Lake City at Wise Guys, which we love too. A great club there. The 22nd and 23rd of June, which is a Friday and Saturday. And then the 20th through the 22nd, we're in Schaumburg, Illinois at the Improv in Schaumburg, which I'm very excited about. All good stuff. Just check it out on supersklars.com and go watch Tig's special, and you will laugh super hard.
It's on Netflix.
It's on the old Netflix.
It's
You've
ready
heard
to
of
be
it.
seen.
It's ready to be seen. Happy to be here.
Happy to be here.
Happy to be
Just like the pig.
Thank
Just
you.
like the pig. Just happy to be there.
Yeah.
Just follow along if you can.
Just be the pig to Tig's story, and
Be
just
the pig to Tig.
be the pig.
Tig's pig. Just follow her through the special. You'll be very happy.
Be the pig to Tig.
That's all we got to
Oh
ask.
shit, we got to get back to work.
It's a good show.